Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Dan. Alright, in this video we're going to be looking at 10 heat tolerant leafy greens that you could add to your garden. You know, this is the time of year for us in the more southern states to start preparing to grow our heat tolerant greens, because most of us in this part of the country really can't grow the typical stuff that the northern gardens are preparing to bring outside now, like all the brassicas, you know. So we have to look, there's always alternative to that, which is the heat tolerant greens, and some also perennial greens that we could turn to. And then once fall come around, we could start growing the traditional stuff that you guys are actually growing. Let's get into the video and check out these 10 heat tolerant leafy greens. These are some heat tolerant crops that all of them actually taste pretty good too. You know, so the first one we're gonna take a look at is the callaloo. You heard me spoke about callaloo in previous video. It's part of the amaranth family of plants. Extremely tasty green, can be cooked, and you could add it to soups. In the Caribbean we cook it up with, you know, onions, you know, green onions, regular onions, peppers, you know, and you have that with over rice, or you could have it with, you know, root crops like potatoes or whatever, you know, or even dumplings or whatever it is. It goes well with a lot of food, yeah, and it's high in iron. All right, let's walk over to the garden and I'm going to show you a few volunteer callaloo that came up from last year, you know, and one of them is like blowing my mind because the biggest amaranth I ever see callaloo ever grown in the food forest without no care at all. And one of the great part about these heat tolerant leafy greens, they don't need a daycare. They'll grow in no matter what soil type. They're gonna grow, you know. All they need is water and sunlight, like, you know, most plants. All right, so let's walk over to the amaranth and let me show you a volunteer that's coming up right now in spring, you know, which I'm extremely surprised that it grew that big this time of the year as well. All right, let's go walk over and look. All right, let's walk over here. So this is the amaranth, the callaloo. And this actually is a volunteer in the garden. There's another volunteer, and that's one of the good things with amaranth. You plant it the first year, and then if you leave it to go to seed, it actually, the wind blow the seeds all over the food forest. And I love that kind of gardening where stuff just plant itself. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I've been planting amaranth for years, and this volunteer is the biggest one I've ever seen. Look at the size of the leaves, guys. Let me just compare it to something. Let me just show you. Let me just show you something. All right. All right. This is a soccer ball. Look at the size of the leaf. look how big it is, guys. That's so big, and this is a full-size soccer ball. That's showing you how big this leaf is on this amaranth. Let me show you the trunk of the amaranth. Look at it, guys. I never seen nothing grow this big before. Yeah, so this is callaloo amaranth. So I wanted to harvest this a while ago, like, you know, over the weekend, and I decided, so I'm gonna do the video before actually I harvest it. Yeah. So look at it, guys. Huge. Look at the size of the leaves. Yep, and we have more growing over here. Look, we got more here, growing here. There's some more growing right over there. Yeah, so this is one of my favorite heat tolerant leafy green to grow, and this is the green amaranth or callaloo. All right, so let's go check out some other leafy greens. All right, then number 2 leafy green on the list is Egyptian spinach, Molokia. You know, this is a popular leafy green in Egypt, you know, in North and East Africa, which, you know, these are hot places. So if it grows there, you know, it's going to do well as a heat tolerant leafy green in our area. You know, you could use this leafy green. It's very easy to grow. It's cooked in stews. It's cooked variously, stir fry, all different ways. As most of these leafy greens, they're versatile in use as well. All right, so that's number 2, the Egyptian spinach, Malokia. You know, so definitely if you're looking for a leafy green to add to your garden that's heat tolerant, this is one you should definitely consider. Next one is the tricolor amaranth. I'll show you a picture of that here. The tricolor amaranth, that beautiful ornamental looking, you know, amaranth. Looks similar to the callaloo, but it just had that purple color in the middle. You know, you could probably see it could probably grow in a landscape as an ornamental plant. So you cook it just like the callaloo, same amaranth, tastes the same way, just have a different color. Just, you know, because sometimes you want a different color in your garden away from just that green. You know, I like seeing the purples, I like seeing those different colors. All right guys, so the next one we're gonna look at is the red leaf amaranth. Just like the green leaf amaranth, looks the same. The leaf is just that deep purple. You know, I'll show you a picture here. You know, as I said again, another leafy green, tastes the same way like the green amaranth. If you had callaloo, you know, for people who is from the Caribbean or had, you know, went on vacation in the Caribbean and you had callaloo or you grew it last year, the red leaf, you know, amaranth is the same thing, just a different color. Yeah, try not to lose count here. So let's go to number 5 is the white leaf amaranth. You know, so there's a bunch of amaranth varieties, you know, that you could actually grow. The white leaf amaranth is still green, but have like the stem, you know, or the vein in the leaf is actually, you know, have that whitish color. You know, this is a popular Asian greens. If you go to the Asian markets, you're gonna find most of these amaranth in the Asian market, you know, or if you go to the Asian leafy green seed stores, you're gonna see these seeds are listed there. But these are all perfect heat tolerant leafy greens that could be used in various different ways. As I said, soups, stir fry, you could cook it down, steam, whichever way you want it. You could add it with your eggs. All right guys, so we're at number 6, I think. Okay, so the 6th one we're gonna check out is the Larga spinach. You know, the Larga spinach is a unique one. It is also in the amaranth family. It has that ornamental look. I could probably grow that in the front of my yard, and you're gonna think it's, you know, with coleus, have that coleus kind of look, but the leaves are thin, just like the amaranth. You know, beautiful flowers, but it's an edible leafy green and very heat tolerant. Could grow in extremely poor soil. You know, let me show you something right here. This is the Larga spinach. You know, and you probably saw me did this in previous video. These are the seeds that self-seed itself from last year. You know, and beautiful color. You know, and real taste. It tastes just like any other amaranth. The flavor is a little bit more earthy, you know, as most of the amaranth, they all have an earthy kind of taste to it, you know, and good with, I'm just saying you should grow it, really good. All right, so this is the Larga spinach. All right guys, so now we at number 7. I don't want to lose count, and number 7 is one of my favorite, which is good in a salad. You know, the blooms of this particular, you know, leafy green could be used in, you could use in teas, and you could use the leaves in salads, you know, and that's the cranberry hibiscus. All right, let's go take a look at the cranberry hibiscus. Walked down in the food forest here, and one of the beauty about the cranberry hibiscus, guys, it's a perennial, and it also reseeds itself every year. It's a plant you plant it once, it's gonna reseed itself for the following year, and you're good after that. So the young leaves here is like extremely good in salad. Let me show you another one. And they're gonna grow into 5 to 7 foot size trees or shrubs, you know, with abundance of food and flowers for teas and all that stuff. All right, so this is my number 7 heat tolerant leafy green. All right, guys, we at number 8, and number 8 is, this is a perennial leafy green. The ones we just listed a little while was all annuals, but except for the cranberry hibiscus, it's a annual perennial depending on where you are, yeah. But all the other amarets, you know, and the Egyptian, those are all annuals. But this other leafy green we're going to check out right now is the longevity spinach. This is actually a perennial, and it grows like a weed, you know. All right, guys, so this is the longevity spinach, a beautiful perennial. It can serve as a ground cover, can do run along the ground, and it's very easy to grow and produce abundance of food, and it's great in salads. So I think we're at number 9. I think so. All right, let's go check out another perennial, you know, and this is the Okinawa spinach. All right, let's go check that out. All right, guys, so this is the Okinawa spinach. It have that beautiful purple underneath, packed with nutrients. Yeah, easy to grow, also grown from cuttings. Yeah. And you use it the same way like the longevity spinach. Perennial, grows like a weed, which I like, you know. And any food that grows like a weed, and I know it's food, and it's perennial, I'm perfectly fine with it growing all over the food forest. All right, guys, we're at number 10, and this is the Shiso spinach. This is another perennial. I'll put all the names out, you will see the names there. Shiso spinach, another perennial leafy green that's propagated from cuttings. This is my first year growing it, yeah, and from tasting it, I think it's going to be a staple in my garden. It's also called the Brazilian spinach. Shiso spinach, it can be eaten raw or be cooked. So if you want to put in a salad, you can. If you want to cook it, you can. So let me bring you over and let you look at the Shiso spinach. All right, guys, so this is the Shiso spinach, you know, another great perennial to add to the landscape. Yep. Yeah, so to me, I love perennials. You know, annuals play their role, but perennials also play a big role in producing food, especially when we have, you know, like food shortage. You know, you need those perennials that, you know, could grow in any soil type and still produce abundance of food for you. Since we're here, let's throw in like 2 more, you know, perennial leafy greens that's heat tolerant. All right, let's go do that. So let's come over here to another leafy green, and this is the chaya. You know, and you know chaya, you know, is a perennial leafy green. It took the 20-something degrees, get a few little damage, but it bounced back exceptionally well. You remember we dropped to that, you know, 20-something, you know, for like 8-9 hours. It took it like a champ, you know. So this is now one of my favorite leafy green. This required to be cooked at least for 20 minutes before it's eaten. You cannot eat this raw. It needs to be cooked. All right, so this is the chaya. And these are bonus, and the bonus one I'm gonna add here is the taro leaves. You know, the taro leaves are edible. A lot of you didn't know that, but in countries like Trinidad and I think Guyana, the leaves are eaten as callaloo. You just like how you cook, they call callaloo something different. They call this callaloo instead of the amaranth, right? While the other part of the Caribbean call the callaloo, the amaranth, they call callaloo. All right, so this is taro. That's a bonus one for you guys. All right, guys, so that was 10 heat tolerant greens with a bonus, with 2 bonus, so you got 12, you know. So there's so many options for us in the southern states to grow, you know. So we get both, you know, we get the both worlds. In the fall, we're able to grow all the leafy greens that you guys are currently going to be growing, and in the summer we get to grow a whole new variety, you know, our species of plants, you know, perennials and other annuals. Yep. And you could, you know, when the season is kind of ending for you guys, when it get a little bit too hot too for you guys up north, you could throw some of these heat tolerant greens in and have something extra. And you remember, don't forget your okra. So this video is really just to give you options, you know, sure that there's other, you know, so when you believe your season is over, you have options, so you could go right through the year, you know, and that's always a plus. All right, so thank you so much for watching. All be blessed with peace, love, happiness, and kindness. One love. See you.